Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really key from the notes and articles you've shared on growth. Accountability. It's the A in the GRACE framework. And for you listening, this isn't about finger pointing. It's about, well, finding your power, right? And reducing that bias that can get in the way. So let's unpack this. What exactly is accountability in the GRACE context?
Well, it's fascinating, actually. It's that shift, moving away from just blaming things outside yourself and instead owning your influence. That's where the real freedom, the real potential for change lies. And in grace, growth, responsibility, agency, clarity, empathy, accountability helps us tackle that natural self-preservation bias.
Self-preservation bias, meaning our tendency to protect our ego, maybe, to deflect.
Exactly. We instinctively want to look good even to ourselves. Accountability asks us to look honestly, even when it's uncomfortable.
Okay, so owning your role, but without blame, guilt, or shame, that sounds tricky. How is it different from just taking the fall for something?
Yeah, that's the crucial distinction.
Yeah.
Blame is all about whose fault is this? It often just shuts things down. Grace accountability is different. It's simply acknowledging, okay, yes, I played a part here. Not all the part, necessarily, but a part.
A part.
Yes, think about that analogy. You can't clean a room you don't admit you walked into. It pushes past that selective memory or interpretation we sometimes use to protect ourselves. It gets closer to what really happened, reducing those cognitive biases.
Right, the walking into the room analogy, I like that. But what about situations where you genuinely feel like, well, it wasn't my fault? How does the everyone contributes idea work then?
That's a really common question.
Yeah.
And Grace suggests that in pretty much any situation, you influence something. Maybe it was a decision you made or didn't make. Maybe something you said or didn't say. An assumption,
Yeah.
an inaction,
Yeah.
even just being there.
So it could be subtle.
Very subtle sometimes. It's less about finding fault and more about identifying your leverage point.
Yeah.
Where did you have influence?
Right.
Because seeing that, even if it's small, gives you options. It means you can do something differently next time. That's where the power is. It moves us past just defending ourselves.
Okay, I get the concept, but how do we actually, do it day to day?
There's a practical process. First, the mindset, the pre-action attitude. It's about deciding to be honest and courageous. Telling yourself, okay, whatever it is, I can learn.
Right, setting the intention.
And the action itself,
Mm.
asking the tough questions. What was my part? Get specific. What did I do? Say, ignore, assume. What habit kicked in?
Okay, digging in.
And then the post-action attitude, this is where it clicks. Even admitting something small, like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have waited or I reacted too quickly there, that shifts you. You go from feeling stuck or like a victim to being someone who can actually change things going forward.
It's like, when my Wi-Fi drops and I instantly blame the provider, but then I realize, oh, wait, I didn't restart the router like I was supposed to. That tiny, oops, my bad moment.
Exactly. That's a micro-acknowledgement right there. And the sources you provided mention tools for this, like the Grace Journal prompt
Yes, asking weekly. Oh, how did I contribute?
or practicing those micro-acknowledgements all day. Just small things. That was me. Or, I could have done that better.
And keeping that mindset reminder in mind, finding my role gives me the power to change the story.
Precisely. And these aren't just abstract ideas. Think about Aid, that student example. Realizing he was scrolling Instagram right before studying, that simple bit of accountability opened the door to better habits, real success.
Instead of just saying, I can't focus.
Right. Or if you miss a work deadline. Instead of, well, Sarah didn't send me the file, it becomes, okay, I didn't follow up proactively when I didn't get it. See the shift.
Yeah, from passive to active, from blaming Sarah to owning my follow-up. Makes sense. And there's even a self-assessment checklist mentioned to see if you're ready for the next step. Correction.
Yes, it helps you check in honestly. Like, can you look back at a tricky situation and spot one thing you did or didn't do without immediately pointing fingers elsewhere? It ensures you've really grasped this accountability piece before moving on to solutions.
So, wrapping this up for everyone listening, what's the big takeaway? Accountability isn't about being weighed down by guilt.
Not at all. It's more like wearing your own shoes, as one source put it, and not pretending they belong to someone else.
I like that. Wearing your own shoes.
And it raises a key question, doesn't it? When we stop spending energy defending ourselves and start seeing our part, that's empowerment. You can't control everything out there, definitely not. But owning your little piece, that's usually enough to figure out the next step forward.
So the thought to leave you with is this. What piece of a recent situation have you maybe been overlooking? A piece that, if you owned it, could unlock whatever comes next for you. Something to think about.
Definitely. Next time, we'll dive into correction, how to turn that insight from accountability into real, effective solutions. Remember, you don't need perfection. Just be present, be honest, and be willing. See you next time on The Deep Dive.